Okay, so since I haven't shown you how to do the patina process on pewter yet, I thought I'd do that quickly and also show you that if you use one of these little metal embossing stylus tools, that you actually need to lubricate and how we do that. So I've just quickly transferred the little heart design on your high relief, excuse me, high relief design pattern. So I've transferred that on the front, of course, and then what we want to do is we want to start working our design. So what we'll do, I normally just have a little jar of, this is just normal cooking oil, and you just dip your tool. Let me just grab the right size. I think that's going to be a little bit better. Okay, so you just dip the tip of your tool in the oil. You can also just dip a little bit of cotton wool in there, and you just want to lubricate your metal, because metal on metal scratches, it doesn't glide easily, which is why I normally start everyone off just with a bamboo skewer or recommend the Teflon tools. But I mean, if you have to use one of these, it's all good. You just need to lubricate your tool quickly. Okay, so for this design, we'll start in the center, because you've learned that as we work our metal out, it stretches, and we don't want to start here and it all bundles up and creases at the end. So we'll start in the center and gradually work our way out. So because it's high relief, we're going to do these lines. And I think you can hear that there's a little bit more of a scratchy sound going on, which we didn't have with some of the other metals. So again, just dip your tool in there. Okay, and so because we want our metal to stretch evenly, I'll flip it right side over, right side up. Take one of my paper pencils and just flatten the little bits around the line that I want to define. It just makes it easier, and it gives us a neater finish if the surrounding areas are already flattened. Okay, and then you go around, you start again at the center. And again, because it's high relief, we only define the outside lines. We don't do in and out as for low relief, because we want to raise the hearts up. Okay, so I'm going to do those first, and then I'm going to raise it. So again, just make sure that everything's nicely lubricated. So then with that one, we'll start again in the middle section. do the outside. You might have noticed as you worked with your designs that these edges of the metal are extremely sharp, so please be careful, don't cut yourself. Always have a little plaster handy, because unfortunately with metal embossing these little cuts are inevitable. Just be aware of it so you can protect yourself against that. Right, so then again we want to define our lines quickly, so we'll just flatten the surrounding bits quickly with my paper pencil. And then again we'll start defining on the inside of that line, always starting from the center and work our way out. I'll quickly do the last one, so you get the gist of it. So I'll quickly do the last one and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've raised the lines and I've defined them, but I haven't raised the level yet. So that's what we're going to do next. So I'm just going to run through the techniques again. So the center heart, I'll raise that it appears to be flat. So again, we just flip it backside facing us, and then you just color within these little borders that you've just created and just raise it to the level of your board. And I'm sure you can see on this video that the metal is a little bit more malleable than the aluminium, so it stretches a little bit more, which also means that you can work your pewter designs to higher levels than you can with the aluminium. Okay, so there we've got our little heart raised, but it appears to be flat. And so I'll do the other two to be rounded, just to run through the techniques with you again. Okay, so for the rounded look, we do the exact same thing, just on a soft cloth. Start at one point and then just work your way around. And so the other thing is, when you raise your levels on the soft cloth, you want to be consistent with your pressure, because you want it raised ideally all to the same level. And so you'll have to just play around with it and see how you go, and turn it over and have a look at it and see which parts you maybe didn't raise as high as the other side, because otherwise your metal will buckle. So it's constantly just flipping over and checking and, sort of course correcting when you find that you haven't raised it high enough. Okay, and then again we flatten those bits. And then you can take your little tool and just go over these and define them again. Once everything's been raised and you're happy with the way it looks. This just creates a really beautiful professional finish. Sharp lines. And you can do the same for that one. And so what will happen is once we do the patina process after we've cleaned it, especially when you go around your design again and you define those lines, the patina will go and lie in those grooves. It'll just really make your design pop. Okay, so we're on to the last little heart. And again, working it out on our soft cloth because we want a rounded look. Okay, then we just need to go back and see if everything is raised to the correct level. Let's flatten the surrounding bits again. And define your lines again. Okay. So I'm going to fill these with wax quickly, just so that when I do design work around it, I don't damage my patterns. And so I'll do that quickly and I'll be back in a second.